where we're going to end up. But yeah, again, like I've said, it does feel like it's going to be a difficult task, whichever way you paint it for Anubis here. So let's find out where exactly they're going to head.
Yeah, I like the Mexico shout. Might not be a map they would have selected before, but maybe against XROCK, try to throw it out. The port is going to be banned here against Anubis. But yeah, that does leave both Eagle Eye and Mexico available. Maybe as Anubis, you try to like grab both of those, if not only the... Okay, well, they're just going to ban Mexico, so...
Fair enough.
Seems like they're not going for potentially the strategy we were talking about.
Yeah, maybe it's going to be like a wild card Eagle Eye pick. I could see that maybe being something on the table for Anubis if they want to catch them off guard, but XROCK, I'm expecting maybe something like an Ankara here. Oh, XROCK actually picks Eagle Eye, so this is a good one for them to bring out at this point, I think, as well. I think it's not a bad map for them, and a lot of the Chinese teams have shown us already at this event they like to play fast and aggressive on this map, which for Anubis, I think, can be a little bit intimidating to deal with in your first map in this best of 3.
Yeah, they looked pretty good on it yesterday against Vincent. It was a 10-5 dub, and going into this game, I can imagine that picking the newest map in the pool against a team that is playing with a sub is probably not a bad shout. So lots of thinking to do now for Anubis. They've been put in a pretty awkward position, but it's going to end up being Compound. So not something that we've seen them picking so far in this event, and also not something that we've seen them playing so far in this event either. It's been Port, Black Widow, Ankara, and sub-base from Anubis so far.
Yeah, I'm always a little bit wary to select Compound against any Chinese team just because of the Baisha effect, where it's like, they're really good on this map. They, Baisha that is, they've probably practiced with a lot of the Chinese teams and beaten them on this map to give them a lot of good information and practice on this one. But hey, we'll have to wait and see. I really like the Eagle Eye pick from XROCK. They looked great on it before, as you mentioned. Also, it's really good for just running at your enemies. Also, I think it's a fairly good map for sniping as well. We saw a lot of that between Kungarna and LCK, and between the other teams as well. Even Vincent versus XROCK as well. The snipers were having a big role in that one. So if they don't have Snare, you know, like Gia against question mark, I think it's a good shout on many different levels to pick up that Eagle Eye. I like the Ankara. Well, actually, I thought that was Anubis banning that. Well, we're just not going to see Ankara, I suppose.
Yeah, I would say at this point, I'm kind of expecting the last map to be Black Widow. I feel like both teams generally leave it in the pool, and you can see there Anubis banning out the sub-base, which means Black Widow will be the final map here. So still a really tough pool to go up against XROCK on. I can understand the Compound pick though, because it's actually the only map at CFS in the last 2 years that Anubis has won. They actually beat ranking on it at last year's CFS. To be fair, that was with, I guess now 4 different players, only one of those players carrying over in this roster, that being Doom. But maybe there's a chance they've got something in that map, but without a sniper, Compound can be pretty rough. Unless 7 comes in and, you know what, maybe he's a young, talented sniper and can just pop off here.
I thought you said 7. I mean, you did, but I'm like, oh yeah, 7 can just come in and sub for this team, surely.
Yeah. I mean, he's not too far away, right?
That would be
just
nice.
Give the hotel a ring, say send him over. He might not even be back yet. It's a bit of a drive from the hotel to the studio. But either way, yeah, I think you're kind of grasping at straws, to be quite honest, Kyle. It's wishful thinking, definitely, for Anubis that their substitute's going to be able to come in and perform to the level of a core player, especially against a team like XROCK. Eagle Eye, Compound, Black Widow, the pool here. I'm feeling a 2-0. Like, I mean, I would have said that pretty much anyway, regardless of the map pool, but...
You've said that a lot this tournament. And you've been right.
It's my experience with Crossfire is, generally speaking, there are a lot of 2-0s, especially early in the tournaments. The thing is, like, there are definitely regions in this esport that are much stronger than other regions. So when you come to a global tournament, you often expect that, especially in the group stages, when you're going to have those mismatched games, there's going to be a lot of 2-0s. And especially when there's a substitution factor in there as well. You can't really think of a much more mismatched game here, really. I mean, I guess if you would put Baisha in XROCK's shoes and have Baisha versus Anubis, then maybe, but...
Or Baisha versus 3BL.
Yep.
Which we did see.
Yeah.
Well, how about Baisha versus Karahouse? Because again, like, I mean, that's the next matchup, and I can see that one being a fairly solid one for Baisha as well. Like, I think Karahouse have a they have the individuals to maybe go pound to pound with Baisha in, you know, a couple of rounds here and there and steal some away. But generally speaking, I just think Baisha will kind of roll over them as well. So sort of expecting today to wind up being a pretty quick one to actually finish off the group stage. Now that we've seen the 2-0 from Kungana.
If Kara House win that, does that mean they get second place?
I believe they would be tied
for
number
first.
1.
Is there a 3-way tie between those?
No, because it would be Baisha and Kara House would both be 2-1, and the other teams would be 1-2. Is that right? That sounds right to me.
Well, 3BL was in that group,
3BL
right? And they win 0-3.
So it'd be 3 teams at 2-1. So it would come down to who's had a perfect set there. And if they've all had 2-0s, it goes down to actually a round differential at that point, which you have to think Baisha's probably favored in the round differential just because of their game over 3BL probably being the most assertive of the 3 teams. So it is possible they could somehow change up the group, tie it, but at the very least they are guaranteed the wild card spot at this point, which I think is where they're probably going to end up. And I think they have some advantages going against those other 2 teams, looking like Ranking and Kungana in that group with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hard one. I don't know, I think Kara House have just been a bit not quite all there necessarily at this event, unfortunately. Hasn't really come together for them. Ranking did look good yesterday. Kungana looked pretty good today, so be interested to see how things play out when we do get to the wildcard stage, which again is going to be tomorrow. But before then, on to XROCK and Anubis as we will kick things off on Eagle Eye.
Eagle Eye, we just saw a really fun map of Eagle Eye between Kungana and LCK. I was watching that in the room, the talent room. That was actually really entertaining. One of the better ones we've had so far. I just think that this next one, it's going back to Eagle Eye, and it might just be the exact opposite. I really want to see Anubis try to put up a good show and try to put up a good effort to try to stop XROCK. But can they do it is the real question.
Well, you can hear the energy from one side here. A little lackluster on Anubis' side, but it's a tough situation to go into knowing you're up against that number 1 seeded XROCK team in your group, and now you've got to find a way through. And it is going to be 7azin stepping in with that Om in hand, so he has the confidence to go in and try and challenge GA in this one. But it's not only 1 sniper he has to worry about, it's 2 on the other side here. It is going to be Yang as well that he's going to have to go up against.
Really got nothing to lose, I guess, if you're 7azin, so might as well give it a crack.
Maybe he's just better.
Maybe.
Maybe we come in and we like totally underestimated him, and he's like, actually, you know, I've been really good this whole time. This is his one big shot. Imagine he comes in and he's like, okay, you know, first kill, 7azin takes out GA.
This was not in the script. Oh, if you would have got that kill onto Chow as well. Well, double nade. Well, one of them bounced out the window. Chow's a little bit lucky to get away with as much HP as he's got right now, but yeah, I think the thing is, like, even if you're coming into the CFS Grand Finals as a sub, like, you're still obviously a very good player. So let's not necessarily disregard the impact that he can have, but still bearing in mind that it is going to be a difficult task to jump into a team like XROCK.
It's going to be Dipsy who finds the kill with Hassam onto Chow. Nice way to keep the numbers advantage, but Yang playing very aggressive here on A long. Wants to take the fight, but Sunny able to get down 1, but Doom and Slayer actually get the better of it towards this B side of the map. It's only on to Lee. 1 versus 3 here in the opening round. Anubis doing a great job of isolating these players 1 at a time. And you can see here, though, Lee knows he needs to take a risk and make a play, but 7azin gets a double kill. Crisp shots from him to start it off, and you know what? Maybe this is his chance to prove why he should be a starter.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you never know some of these stories, the way that they start. It's like totally underestimated, didn't expect anything, and then all of a sudden he's going to like top frag for his team, and we're going to say like, hey, this guy should be in the main roster. Now it is just the 1 round, but he did win a 1v1 sniper duel with GA, so that's a very good 1-round start. Let's see how it goes from here as you see XROCK trying to get a little bit more aggressive onto this angle, which is generally where the initial fights do start on Eagle Eye in a standard round.
Yeah, very forward setup though from XROCK. I'm actually not a fan of how they're playing this. It's a little bit overexposed. You can tell they're very confident in this fight that they want to take here. 7 gets spotted out by GA, but no shots actually taken. He's kind of just playing his time on the edge of the smoke. He's going to re-smoke the position as well. And XROCK continue to run down that clock here, but look at Chow. He's spotted on the edge of the box, but GA gets the follow-up onto Doom to trade this one out. But 7 he's still alive on the off angle. He has to make a play soon. The rest of his team kind of following quickly around him, and it's not looking too great this time.
Yeah, Slayer was spotted out as well in mid, so all the info there for XROCK. But Sunny does manage to find himself isolated against Hassam, which hasn't worked out too well. Leaves Gia to hold on to the B push solo. He is still holding a forward position in the hotel. XROCK don't want to give up any map control without a fight. But inevitably, Gia will have to back his way off to a little bit safer of a position, which is pretty reasonable as a decision at this point, because there's not a huge amount of time left for Anubis. It's ticking away. They've still got to make their way all the way through hotel.
Another good shot.
This guy's pretty clean. I mean, it's a good look so far. 3-0.
You'll love to see it from him. We'll see if he can keep it up. It's another 3-on-2 situation. This time Yang not going to connect either. Misses the secondary as well. And 7 is in. He goes for the follow-up. Yang 0-3 from here. He'll go down. And now GA left in a 1-on-3 situation. Anubis, they've got full control over the A-bomb side as well. It's going to be a long flank play coming out. You can see Slayer might have had his barrel spotted from this positioning, but Hassam, he's got a nice off angle here. GA good for 1, and this is where they have to be careful not to peek one at a time, but Slayer gets it done, and it's a 2-0 start already for Anubis.
It's got me thinking.
What does it mean?
What does this all mean?
I do think that, like Kyle was saying, XROCK definitely playing very far up, very confidently, and perhaps a little bit of underestimation from them as well for their opponents. And it is not going well for them. 7 has had many nice shots, as has the team. You know, Hassam and Slayer getting a couple of those early pickoffs, as now once again Slayer gonna pick up two quick headshots right through mid as XROCK try to come in aggressively, and they are just totally wiped up, 3 of them for free, as finally Slayer is gonna go down to Yang, who has been pulling out the sniper himself. Double kill for him, who is going to make it interesting as he tries to pull it back for the team. This one is going to miss for GA, and Dipsy gonna get the kill as well. Yang is kind of going off here, but he can't do it all alone.
I was wondering.
The only one to get a kill for his team.
That could have been a 1v5 angle from Yang if he just hit the shot there with the Colt as well. That would have been something, but man, I mean, Anubis out the gates really strong here on Blacklist side of Eagle Eye, which is pretty nice to see. Couple of good shots in there from Slayer.
Looks like Famous.
XROCK do have to be aware. Obviously, this is a map that's kind of leaning against them, given that they start on the GR side. But being down 0-3 against Anubis playing in with a sub is probably not where they'd envisioned themselves to be at this point in the game.
Yeah, I feel like they're still playing a little bit too greedy here. They feel like they're the stronger team, so they take these risks that are really unnecessary. And they've got to respect this team a little bit more here. I mean, they're down 3-0. They're not connecting on the shots that they do take, and Anubis is just ready to react on the other side of it. You can see the angle, though, from GA. 7 is in, not ready for that one. Gets taken down very early on this time around.
Yeah, now that Anubis have lost their ace, how are they going to come in here and win this round from behind? Jokes aside, that is a very nice pickoff from GA, and now once again, these two, Gia and Chow, have been very far up. That's a good angle, but Chow is going to be taken out. Gia left alone. He's just going to have to run away from this one. So nice trade back here from Anubis.
I wonder what happens for XROCK if Chow does go missing for an entire series, though. Because he has really been their standout player for this event so far. And even Gia is not looking like quite as sharp as he usually does. So Sunny going to have to step up alongside Lee. They are managing to hold on to things in this round for the moment. Timing might not favor Sunny here, though he's got the backup of Lee, but It was awkward for a second there. Sunny, though, turning around, will keep it on lock. And now just Slayer, whose position is known after having fired a couple of shots there at the bottom of B long.
Yeah, he does at least have the C4 here, but there's not really anything he can do to isolate these players. They're going to be stacked up on B together. He may get the plant, but it's still going to be a full retake he has to deal with against Lee, Sunny, and Yang, presumably all coming in as a unit as they are grouped up. But we can see actually Lee peels off a little bit early, maybe a chance at some 1v1s here. Slayer, he does already have 5 kills on the board, I believe the most in the server, so it's not outlandish to say he could win these fights if they are given one at a time.
You do see that XROCK are going to take it a little bit slow. Sunny is coming in by himself from behind, but the other 2 members are together, coming in through mid. Sunny going to make some noise as the angle is found, and that will be the end of Slayer. And finally, XROCK are on the board here from the GR side.
They will get it, but I mean, already down 1-3, not ideal. However, they do have the shots to get this done. I think it just came down to playing a little bit too overzealous in those first couple of rounds and giving a little bit too much to Anubis. If they play a little bit more reserved, I think this is going to go pretty well for them moving forward, as long as they keep themselves tethered.
Yeah, Lee and Chow having a bit of difficulty getting involved in this game as well. And we know what those players can do when they kind of get rolling a little bit. Yang, on the other hand, he's the one that's been fragging, and he's given a couple of opportunities, one of which he will land. Now still more needed to be done. Sunny's able to chime in with a 1-for-1, but Yang, there we go. That's a bit more like it. Hello. Is it time for a Yang MVP? It seems like maybe he's gunning for it on this map. And that's 2 on the trot now for XROCK, and Anubis put on notice.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? Anubis trying to mess with the tempo, which is generally a good thing, and they just run straight into Yang. Like, Sunny is there as well. They've got a decent 2-stack on the site, and when you just run into a guy who's got the hot hands and you're not exactly rooting him out with utility, he's just going to light you up, which Yang did. He had a little bit of support, and that's all he needed. Anubis not able to get the picks necessary on that entry. So a second round now going in favor of XROCK.
Yeah, Anubis, they've got to change it up a little bit here. They're becoming somewhat predictable, especially in how they set up towards this B-long position. It worked well in the first 2 rounds, but you've got to be prepared for XROCK to adapt here. And that's exactly why they aren't able to break in anymore. You can see a lot more reservation in taking these early peaks from XROCK, and that should play in their advantage. But Chow, he wants to take this fight on the mid doors, moves into position, but Slayer right there on the other side of it.
I'm not sure that the aggression is the right call for XROCK. Been dealt with pretty comfortably by Anubis the few times that XROCK have tried to throw something a little bit more quick in. This is a setup that should work out. Chow easily able to get the 1-for-1, but goes a little bit too far forward, and so gets traded down himself, and it ends up not looking too good here. Really, again, relying on Yang, who's just insane at the moment, but still can't really get enough done to make it look favorable for XROCK, and Gia will fall to doom. Anubis are pulling off a pretty inspired performance.
Yeah, I think this challenge in mid, not the greatest from the side of XROCK. Yang almost made it close. You know, that round was pretty much over. We also missed one where they were moving into A long, and 7azin must have gotten the quick scope onto Sunny because he was really far up A long, and 7azin was carrying the bomb with the Alm and running in first, and he must have like gotten the quick scope off, which was another big entry kill from him as they did move towards the A site. So good stuff so far.
Yeah, just don't go A, though, I reckon. Like, if Yang's going to be sitting there and it seems like he's pretty much going to stay on A, I don't know that you can reliably afford to be trying to challenge him when he's hitting the shots he is at the moment. But I guess Anubis is getting it done either way, whether they're going A or B, so can't question the results.
Yeah, a lot of that comes down to the MVP. 3 times out of the 4 so far, I believe Chow 1 in 5. Having a lot of difficulty in this matchup. Meanwhile, frag-wise, everybody on Anubis really kind of pulling their weight here, which you love to see, really showing us that they do indeed have some fight left. And if they win this one, they have a chance to stay alive in this tournament. And it would be a crazy way to shake up this group indeed, but we'll see if they can get all the way there, as they are going to be grouping up for the push towards A once again. Yang will see if he can hit another home run on this site. Defense has been so good so far, but this time Sunny and Lee run into them first, finding 1 kill apiece. Yang, what is that shot? Finds himself a nice headshot there, and look at that. It's a complete slaughter on the site.
Yeah, I mean, probably could have seen that coming. Not doing a lot of work early on, just a pretty straight up push in onto A. And it's not even just Yang, but even GA got a kill. Sunny's there, Lee's there, and they were just absolutely ready for that push. As now trying to throw in a lot of utility in towards the hotel. Will they actually go in there? We do see Slayers moving through mid just a little bit. Maybe a little mid push quickly.
Yang is ready for it. But his position is under a bit of threat because there's multiple members coming from multiple angles, and he's still able to get one before he goes down, but players falling elsewhere for XROCK. Gia might be good for a cheeky pick here. Anubis won't be caught napping though. The cross was good. Oh, never mind. I've spoken too soon. Planter denied. Seven dropping the C4. And Gia still looking for more. But he's going to have to be patient though, because Anubis will slow things down. Now it's on to XROCK to ensure that Anubis can't get back off of this site. Make sure they know where those 3 remaining Blacklist members are. And see if they can give Gia a little bit more of an opportunity. He's got the chances there, but he's been spotted out. And it's a cheeky peek from Slayer on a good timing that gives the advantage over to Anubis.
Yeah, great positioning choice from Slayer there to make sure they couldn't put that full pressure onto the upper A bomb site. Chow trying to sneak up long, gets the counter flash into the windows. But Slayer, he wants this repeak anyways. He's gonna go for it, gets the shot. Doom finds the other onto Sunny. And Anubis, they've already secured themselves a half.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of crazy. They come in here on XROCK's map pick, and they start on the Blacklist side, which is definitely favored, but 5-3, and they're using the sub. It's all working out really well. A little bit slow start from XROCK, and Anubis immediately pounce on that. And, I mean, this guy is actually really good. Like, he's hitting so many crispy shots. He was entering for them with the AWM on the A side a couple of times. Like, clearly, this guy is very well practiced and can play the game to a very top level. So just really entertaining to watch this all fold out, or unfold, I guess is the better way to say that. Chow as well, still looking for his second kill. He's going to get it this time. Gets 7-Az in.
Do you reckon maybe there's an element of XROCK like coming into this one a little bit unprepared, right? They've potentially felt like they've done the job that they needed to, particularly with the win yesterday over Vincent. Like, XROCK yesterday looked just so much better than they do here. And I wonder if they maybe didn't even really prepare too much for Anubis. A, because they thought they would potentially beat them pretty comfortably anyway. B, because, well, you know, they probably don't necessarily need the win so much against Anubis per se. That's a nice shot from Yang. I mean, he's definitely prepared. But do you reckon there's an element of that, like unpreparedness from XROCK? Like, if you're going to put all of your eggs into a basket, it's probably going to be that Vincent game in this group. So have they put a lot of emphasis on that and then come into this one without really doing a whole lot of preparation, and that's why they're struggling a little bit here? Or is Anubis really just stepping up to the plate?
I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest, but you are going to see Sunny secure this final round of the half. But I think part of it, too, is just even if you would have studied Anubis coming into this with the sub, they are playing a little bit differently around him. So I am liking what we're seeing out of them. They almost seem like, because they've got nothing to lose, they're playing a little bit looser as well, which is helping them out in a lot of these aim duels that they weren't winning earlier on in the tournament against teams I would say are arguably weaker. So I feel like for them, this kind of nothing to lose, and then 7-Az coming in with a little extra to prove is helping out quite a bit.
One thing that does concern me a little bit here for Anubis is in that first half they were able to play away from Yang, but now Yang's going to be involved in every single round because he gets to choose where he goes. So I imagine that's going to make life a little bit more difficult for Anubis. And there is Yang, the first player to grab a frag for XROCK. Jie solo pushing into B, and he gets away with that. I just don't understand it, but again, maybe a little bit overeager for a frag. Does get traded down. Still numbers are persisting for XROCK.
Yeah, definitely a little bit confusing to go for that play, but I suppose it is going to open up this B site now with only 7 left available. He does have the AWM. And is he going to get a chance to pull off a huge clutch as well? Not 100% sure. This is not going to be easy. And XROCK holding many different angles like this one from Lee, just to make sure he can see through the window and also through here. 7 does get the one, but the spray through the box is going to be enough. Another reason why that spot is quite good. And there you have it. So XROCK going to tie things up. There is the potential, you know, as you were mentioning with Yang getting aggressive. That shot was incredible from 7 but after that, it was essentially, this is actually from a couple rounds ago.
Yep.
But yeah, it's, you know, Yang pushing, GA pushing, Chow maybe even going to feel more comfortable here on the Blacklist side. And so they might just open this one up real quick and win a bunch of rounds in a row. Kind of as we were expecting. Maybe just a slow start here from XROCK on GR. What do they have in store?
We are going to see an interesting decision here, though. We actually have Slayer, who's going to be sniping for Anubis as well. 7 taken down and out early by GA. No re-peek just yet from Anubis to try and trade it out. Hassam thought about it there, but decides to go into the hotel position instead. Dipsy going to be joining him on this angle, but XROCK, they're already pushing up aggressively towards the B bomb site, and Hassam is now trapped in this position. He goes down, Lee finds the kill onto Slayer as well, and things are just falling apart for Anubis. It's already a 5-on-1.
You can tell XROCK are finding it much more easy on the Blacklist side of the map. Makes a lot of sense, obviously. Pretty heavily Blacklist-sided map. I guess you could argue it is the most one-sided map in the pool.
Statistically, it is.
Statistically speaking, right? Yeah, it was like 65.
From 2022, at least.
65% Blacklist. And
from some of those historical stats.
I feel like the stats for 2022 are probably a little bit skewed just because when you also look at the pick rate, I think it's 2%.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really played as much.
Got played twice
at the last CFS, so it had to have only been 2 or 3 times with that. So I would say I still think GR Mexico is probably the most one-sided by a little bit, but the BL on this map is definitely very solid. Yang gets the opening nade as well, and I feel like he's been kind of the saving grace for this team so far. Without Yang having this kind of game, Anubis would have had a chance to run away with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty safe to say. 16-6, had the highest ADR amongst a lot of other stats, you know, highest kills, stuff like that. Definitely carrying the team through the global risk side, and now he can play with that AK once again. Let's see how this mid push is going to come on through. They have already spotted one, but Dipsy is holding down the other angle, nearly able to get 2, but only does get the 1, as a little bit of a kill comes in from Doom. 3-on-2 here in favor of XROCK, who are on the site.
C4 was dropped, but it's not going to be a particularly big impact. Quickly retrieved, and XROCK able to get that one up onto the site. 7 looking for the shot, won't hit it this time. And the plant has gone down for XROCK. So, tough ask here and now. Again, on to 7 to try to close it out. 1-on-3. Had a chance at this earlier on in the half. He'll get another go at it. Having already been spotted out, though, makes for an easy one in the end for XROCK. And it's starting to feel like maybe it's getting away from Anubis a little bit here.
Yeah, the GR side looking a little bit rough comparatively, so haven't actually won a round yet on it. Wouldn't be surprised if this is where XROCK just kind of seals the deal. It's much harder to come in on this side of the map and make it happen, but Doom gets the start they need, takes down GA, and now they've got the 5-on-4 to work with. A little bit of extra pressure being added here towards B long. You can see these players pretty grouped up from XROCK finally deciding to back off of it.
GA has been getting picked quite a lot as the first player down for XROCK. Probably, what, 4+ times in the map so far? So, what, maybe about a quarter of the rounds that have been played? Which is really not exactly the role that you want your sniper to be filling. You usually want him to be doing the opposite. A bit of a slower one from Gia, that is for sure.
Yeah, maybe having a bit of fun. But Yang, there is one guy who will not be stopped, and it is him, as he's got Lee to back him up immediately. Bit of damage done from Yang, and this guy is just on a roll, 18-6, 3 KD at this point, and he's only getting more. Lee as well, hanging around mid, just sitting himself down and waiting for this rotation to come in, and Yang's got the read on where the rest of them are. 7azin and Hassam both in mid. As pause will be called here from Anubis, no doubt, and the jump in the back here from Lee, nice try, but it is not going to be enough. Yang will just take down the 2, just as clean as that.
I mean, yeah, he's already on 20 kills, and it's so hard to shut down a player just having a map like this, and it makes it a very tough situation for Anubis now to find a way to counter-strat during this pause, because it's not like they're getting out-strategied here even. It's just when Yang wants an entry, he gets it.
I love this holding up the timeout card.
They're so big.
They're huge, but you know, one of the worst things as a caster is like a timeout happens and you're like, well, I don't know who did the timeout in some cases. You have to wait for your production team to say something, or you know, in some cases you don't even get told. Well, no illusions as to which way it's coming from this time.
Yeah, we're certainly getting told by the card. Yeah, I remember last year in Korea that we had cards, but they were a little bit smaller.
Yeah, same in Vietnam. They were smaller cards. They were like A5 size, maybe?
Yeah. As we see this is...
Yang goes bang.
Just kind of gross. You could see that everybody up there is Yang, except Sunny, who has the top assists.
Everybody is Yang. Well, I guess Yang can't get the most kills and the most assists, right? It doesn't really work like that. But if he could, he would at this point.
You would need everybody else on the team to have a lot of kills, and then also he's like there for all of those.
Yeah. I guess there is technically a way, isn't there?
It's possible. And maybe Yang can figure it out before the end of the map.
Let's go. Jayo.
There you go. Timeout's done. Minute 30 to discuss what they are going to do to try to overcome this. It's actually 8-5 and only a couple of rounds now for XROCK, who are not wasting any time. They're going to send in all the utilities. So many flashes over the top just to try to break through. It's Lee for the first kill. Chow is in there. He's going to be taken out, though. Slayer and Doom getting a kill apiece. But in through the back is GA. Actually, he was back there in the spawn, just waiting for the rotation to come in. He's going to go down to Hassam, as now it is only Lee. Nearly able to get the drop onto Hassam and make this 1v2, but not going to happen, as he will go down and Anubis will stop the push.
Yeah, great round there. I thought they had the right idea on the side of XROCK, but the execution just a little bit sloppy in terms of trade potential there, and Anubis doing a good job of capitalizing on it. I feel like Lee had the right idea trying to get that flank going, but he took a little bit too long to wrap behind them, and now it's still a pretty close game on our hands. Anubis, though, showing after the pause they can win their first round on the GR side. Definitely a good sign in trying to stay alive in this series. It is going to be 7azin trying to snipe over the top of B long. Pretty much the same angle we see a lot of snipers take here in this position, so you can tell he's definitely well studied and prepared to go up against this team, but XROCK, they are sending a lot of players towards this B long.
Will they actually commit is the question. It does look like they are beginning to get in there, as a nice shot from GA to start them off. Takes out 7azin.
Yang looking for them assists as well. He needs to get them.
He needs to up his assist number to be
He's
the only person
4
on the board.
4's not enough. We need more. Well, he's got the assist, and now it's time for the entry frag or two. Although that role might fall to Chow. And I think that's a better way of doing it, honestly. If you've got Chow going 5 and 8, you might as well send him in first. and let Yang do the trading, because there's a pretty good chance Yang's going to get it done. There's another assist for Yang, and now a kill. So it's all Yang. It's all coming up Yang at this point until Jia and Lee pick up the final couple of kills of the round. But when all is said and done, Sonny's still hanging on to it, and headshots have been taken by Lee. Yang, what are you doing? You're going in the wrong direction, man. He needs at least another assist.
Yeah.
He was one behind now.
He needs like a couple assists and a couple of headshots now.
He'll do
to
it.
Overtake.
2 assists, 2 headshot kills in this round to finish the game.
Might need a couple of rounds at this point. Anubis trying to hold on as Yang. Okay, there it is. There's a couple of headshots. He's going to take that over. And it looks like this might just be a matter of time. Although Slayer is going to pick up the AWM and pick up a shot for himself. He's out there on a long, but that does not look like the direction that XROCK are going to head in at this point. Slayer also not going to get too aggressive on the flank, so yeah, they're just gonna, the two of them, 7-as in, and his buddy gonna have to hold off XROCK here on the B site as GA is just, it's mission impossible for him. He's just going all the way in by himself.
Oh, he's been spotted out, but somehow he's got around the corner and 7-as in, hasn't hit the shot. Jia is down. Yang's gotten the sight, and he's looking for more. Doom
Yang
from behind.
He's got a good angle here, but Slayer, he tries to sneak into position. It's not going to happen, though. Sunny, 2 big headshots, gets this one done, and it is a nice early lead in this series for XROCK.